Sharp Art Exhibition is an exhibition we're organizing with some of the best knife makers in the world. One of them is for sure Faccipieri. Have you ever wondered what Larry Thomas, the inventor of the MagnaCut, is using in his kitchen? Well, he is using a knife by Faccipieri. The knife is called the One. And this is just an example of the craftsmanship that Faccipieri is capable of. As you can see already in these images, there are beautiful knives. And in this interview, you will see these knives and a lot of the history behind them and the story of a man. I'm sure you will like it. No, ma posso anche stare anche fuori inquadratura tanto. So, ciao.
Ciao.
Here we are with the great Faccipieri, one of the guys who was very keen to give me one of his knives for the exhibition. So I'm very happy to be here and to make this interview. And the first question is going to be, how did you start and when did you start?
I started 15 years ago as a joke, as the majority of the knife maker I know. And my first knife, I have upstairs my first knife, but I'm not going to show you. And after the first knives, I stopped my production immediately because it's only a joke. And after 5 years, so 9-10 years ago, I restart making knives because going around on the internet, I found an online forum that name is BIC, that stands for Bastard Inside Knife. And in that forum, I knew Dennis Mura, my mentor, and in that period, I started making knives seriously, thinking about the materials, thinking about the heat treatment, and yes, it's 9 years, 10 years.
But did you start because it was like, so I mean, your passion, how did you start by looking at your knives?
I don't know, I have a picture, I was 4 years old and I have a knife in my hand. So maybe it's something, a knife is something inside a man. I don't know how to explain. I am a computer programmer, I am a computer programmer, and it's a nice work. It was a nice work, but at the end of the day, you have nothing in your hand. So I started restoring Vespas, I started restoring Land Rover Defender, and one day I started making my first knife, and it was love immediately.
Oh, that's fantastic. But so it was not like a movie where you had like the Rambo stuff or something like that?
No, actually, I like, and you can see, I like to hit. I like, I like to cook and I like to hit. So my very first knives was actually a camp knife, but I immediately start studying and looking for making a great chef knife. My idol is Bob Kramer. Well, I don't know if you know him, but he is the knife maker that made a knife for Anthony Bourdain. And I see a picture, I see a series, handmade craft. I can't remember the name. And I see his work, and I said, I have to start making kitchen knife.
Okay, that's nice. And but what was the fact that struck you, in the sense? What was the design? Was the work on the blade? Or what was that really struck you?
It is the idea that the chef start making their recipe, their plates.
Yeah.
They start taking their Michelin star with one tool made by me. That is the main idea. That's the me start making kitchen knife.
And the design of Kramer, that was your idol back then, was because of the shape of the blade, was because of something that he invented, or something, a beautiful part of his knives? Or
I think he is the first mastersmith of the American Bladesmith Society that start making only kitchen knives. So his design is something incredible. It is he make knives that you can see from a long distance, that is from Bob Kramer. And my design is totally different now, but the very first knives copy from him.
And what was the main?
I have tried to copy.
What was the main feature of the design of Kramer that you think?
The usability. The usability. No too much infrastructure over the knife. Just the knife and the food that he has to cut.
Is there anybody else like after him that you look and you think like this is someone that makes very good knives and I want to aspire to become like him?
First of all, my mentor, Dennis Mura. He's genius. He's a genius. His knives are totally different from the other. And my mentor teach me to make my own design, my own errors, or my own good things, but not to copy from other. And dopo la taglio, dopo la taglio. Stavo facendo un'intervista a Dorino, cazzo.
Rientriamo qua. Allora, so we were discussing about your mentor, Dennis Mura.
Dennis Mura.
And I know him, and unfortunately, I know his work. I really love his design of the blade, especially that kind of tactical / tanto, very pointy, beautiful blades. And I have to say, I always wanted to buy one of his.
Ciao.
But the problem was always that on the YouTube, it's always a little bit difficult to explain and show tactical knives. There is always a taboo about that, and so it's always a little bit difficult.
We are living the worst period in the internet about Instagram, YouTube, about knives. Also, I make there is a lot of difficult also for me that I make a kitchen knife to show my product.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's crazy, and that's maybe we will talk about it even later on, and that's one of the reasons for the Sharp Art exhibition. So in the sense that people will understand that a knife can be much more than just a tool for violence, because of course it is used by professionals, but
ciao,
buongiorno,
grazie. Io che la rifai tutta. Salve la porta, per favore. Tutti arriva l'agenzia delle entrate.
One of the ideas of the Sharp Art exhibition is even to bring together makers and lovers of craftsmanship in general, art, artisanship, and things like that, because a knife can be much more than just a tool, in my opinion. But we will come back to that later on. Actually, from this, I wanted the reason of the name of my YouTube channel, which is there are different things: industrial, handmade knives. I try to be a little bit broad in what I am explaining, but the name is called Is It a Knife? And there is a reason, because I find it fascinating to describe what a knife is, because there are many shapes, there are many tasks that you can do with a knife. So it's not so easy to define what a knife is. How would you define a knife?
First of all, for me, a knife is a tool, and it is a way for me to show how I think about handcrafted. For me, a knife is the 90% of a knife is the heat treatment. The 90% of the knife is the blade. It's obvious. Okay, it's obvious. But the knife is something that you can see. The knife is something that is inside the blade. The structure, the study behind this shape, the study behind the shape of the handle. So for me, the knife is mainly a tool and a nice object in this case.
Yeah. I recently had an interview with Tommaso Rumici.
Yeah.
And he has an approach he is a designer,
Yeah.
knife designer, and his approach is very much like yours. I mean, the knife must be a tool first.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
it is important that people understand that a knife is not only a tool for killing people. It is a tool for making things. With our hands we can't cut the things, so we need a knife.
Yes, for sure. And it has been one of the first tools that mankind
Yeah.
invented.
Yeah.
And so he starts always from the purpose of the knife, in the sense what the knife will be used for.
Yeah.
In his design.
Yeah.
Do you do the same? Is there an idea first? Okay, this knife is going to be used for that,
Yes.
and then you create your design.
Of course, in the kitchen knife, in the chef knives, there is a huge variety of shape, and every single shape has his own task to do. There is some knife that you can use to make a lot of things, and there is a knife you can use to make only one thing. Especially Japanese knife, Japanese style knife. There is tons of different type, and every single type has their task.
And do you have one preferred, or you think like it depends on the commission? Or
I like very much. I like very much the Japanese style knife. So the majority of my knives take
inspiration from
a Japanese knife. If I can say one of the knife I prefer is the Sushihiki, because it is difficult to make, and in that way you see the ability of the knife maker, and because I love meat, so it is a knife that I use very often.
What is so difficult of the knife to make? Why is it difficult?
I think that every single aspect of a good knife is difficult, but the experience make it easier. I put all my brain or my heart to make a good heat treatment of the blade.
But what about that specific design that you think it's difficult to make?
It is long, it is thin, it is difficult to maintain straight.
Yeah.
It is difficult to bevel, it is difficult to grind, because you have to be thinner. It is very...
And is this an example of that?
This is a Sushihiki. It's a 30 centimeter Sushihiki Damasteel.
And this is, sorry, just to show you, this is the knife that will be displayed at the Shop Art exhibition. So yes, please explain me about this knife, even because then we will go into more details about your design.
Yeah. This is my last design about Sushihiki. It derives from the shape of the one. The one is my model. I sold a lot of that type of a knife, and one day I start designing all the type of the Japanese knife using my shape. So there is some aspect, some things that you can see in my knives, like this curve.
Yeah.
A little curve. It's not very pronounced, but there is the finger groove, the point. It's all elements that...
So he's saying basically the finger groove here, you see there is this pronounced shape, and I think it is very comfortable for your finger when you put it there. I mean, it sticks there. It's a hook.
Yeah, yes. And in this way, you have a little bit more edge
yes, to cut things.
Yeah.
Because kitchen knife, you use a lot this part of the knife as well.
Yes, not in this case, but not in this case, because you don't use this knife to make chopping knives.
Okay.
This is for cut meat, so
Okay.
long
Yeah.
cutting.
Okay. And so he was talking about the spine of the blade that is a little bit curved and not a straight line. And this is more for aesthetic reasons because it
Yeah.
gives more of a
Elegance, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you were saying instead, even here, you have a little bit of curvature
Yes.
of the edge.
The first part of the edge is straight,
Yes.
and the last part, the
Two-thirds.
2/3, thank you. 2/3 of the blade is a little bit curved.
Okay, and this is again for elegance or for function?
It's for function. Not in this case because
Yes,
you
it's not,
use
yeah.
this movement,
Yeah.
but from the knife that this knife is derived from, it is very important because you make this type of cutting the
Yeah.
first, or you can use to make this type of cutting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And this blade is made with the Damasteel.
Damasteel is a stainless steel.
Yeah.
It's a stainless Damascus steel from Sweden. And this particular type of pattern is a sparse twist. It's a very simple pattern, and I think it is very elegant.
Yes, and I immediately noticed the difference between a camp knife, a bushcraft knife, and a kitchen knife is even the dimension of the
Yeah.
blade. This one is very thin.
Yes.
Is there an angle that you prefer going into the bevel?
The best is to have the small angle possible.
Okay, almost flat.
Yeah. It is not almost. It is flat in 2/3 of the blade, and the last part of the blade is convex.
Oh, so it convex on
Yeah,
the last
a
part.
little bit. If you try, if you.
Yes, I can feel it. Yeah. From
it's
here.
a little bit.
From here. Yeah.
It to improve the food release. That is very important for the kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Food release is the ability of the knife not to have the food stuck on the blade.
Yes.
You cut.
And it must be very difficult then to make the shape.
With experience, not, but the first time I make a lot of errors.
Yeah. In this kind of design of the blade, I know that Mr. Maumasi,
Yeah.
he is famous, but tell me if I'm wrong, for the S shape of the blade. Is that correct? Is the design of the blade for the food and so on?
Actually, I don't know if Maumasi invented the S shape.
Okay. Because in one of his, because if you don't know, go and check his interviews. Maumasi interviews are very good, are very, very, very nice. And I'm trying to learn the world of knife and knife makers. And I got the idea that he was one of the first to
I'm going to go to a class
at the end of the month,
at the end of the month with Mareko. And I don't know if he invented this shape. I don't think so, but absolutely. I have touched a knife from him last week at the Blade Show, Atlanta, and it was the perfection of the blade.
But going back to your knife,
Yeah.
because this is what we have here, and we are talking about you. And I see here there is a spacer.
Yeah.
What is the material of the spacer here?
Okay. In this case, we have 3 layers of stainless steel and 2 layers of G10, that is a synthetic material in white. That's why I make this work, because I think it gives a little bit more elegance to the handle.
Sure. Let me show you just them. So we are talking about this part of the handle, and as you can see, the white part is the G10, white G10, which is not that common actually to find it, and it is a beautiful pattern. I really love it, because the white reminds a little bit the gray of the blade and of the other spaces, and then it melts into a little bit darker part of the rest of the handle. I think it is
when I made this knife, I choose it immediately. Normally, I take a long time to choose the handle for a blade. That time, I remember, I have the raw blade without the handle, and I have this block of sycamore in my desk. and I say, wow, that is the handle for this knife. Stop. So I am very happy about that. I love the
Yeah, it is beautiful. I have
sycamore.
to say,
It's a spotted sycamore from United States.
Yeah, and where does the tongue end? Here,
It's about a 2/3.
2/3. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how is it put in place? Is it connected
No,
with the glue?
there is no. Yes, it's connected with the glue, and I like that there is no space.
Yes, I can see.
Here.
Yeah.
It is very important for me. So
no space here, as you can see.
absolutely.
And I have to say, it is one of the things you check if it's a really good knife.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things I always look when I get a knife. I always look there because it's difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult, but it helps to avoid dirt inside here, to avoid humidity, water inside here. There is a tank. Even if the steel is stainless steel, if water stain here, it is not good.
Yeah.
The tongue arrive at 2/3 of the blade of the handle. I drill the tongue, and I mill with the small files the hole for the blade.
Okay, yeah, and quickly going back just 1 second, I probably forgot to say this is Damasteel. It's a Damascus of stainless steel. So this is not forged by you. I mean, it's forged by Damasteel.
Yes.
Because the stainless steel requires special equipment with very fixed temperatures, very high temperatures, and
you have a small window.
Yeah,
you have a small window when you forge a stainless steel. It's very difficult. I think there is 3 people in the world that make stainless steel.
Yeah, and
that makes stainless steel with success.
yes. And instead, going into the shape of the handle.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a relatively standardized shape of handles in the kitchen.
In
Japanese kitchen.
Yeah, in the Japanese kitchen.
Tell me a little bit, why is it made like this, almost like
it is just, in my opinion,
coffin style.
The majority of the Japanese style knives has a handle that is, the name is WA, and is octagonal.
Yes.
Yeah. I decided that that shape is good, but I prefer to give the shape
touch.
My touch, and I like very much the line that has to be perfect, straight in 2 parts of the handle.
I can show you here. So he's talking about this line, and it is perfectly centered. I almost cut myself with that one. It's perfectly centered here.
And I decided to start making the shape, this shape, and the mind shape of the.
But so what is it? The fact that you pay particular attention to have that line in the center is specific of your handle.
Yeah. Okay. It's for symmetrical reason, for aesthetic reason.
Yes, sure. And
it is. I think so that I find comfortable is that this angle, when you touch this angle, you have the feeling of control the knife better than having a flat surface that can move in this way. In this way, the knife is strong in your hand.
So basically, this part here gives you even more control of the blade. It's not just beautiful, because it is, but it gives you even more control of the blade. And the ergonomics are something that you consider when you make the blade. Yes.
Things that a chef or normal people use kitchen knife for the most of the time.
Yeah.
So there is also the angle is smooth. It's not so heavy, so strong.
Yes.
So
it's not sharp.
It's not sharp. You can bring in your hand for a long time without having problem.
But from this part of the handle, there is anyway almost a very geometrical shape.
Yeah.
Some of the blades on bushcraft, for instance, they get a little bit milled here.
Yeah.
Because maybe you use a little bit your finger there or something like that. Has this?
In this case, there is no reason to make
Yeah.
particular works on it.
Yeah.
Because when you use a sushiki, you use in this way.
Okay, I understand.
Difficult that you use in this way.
Yes, I understand. And what is, in your opinion, we were discussing about kitchen knives and design of the kitchen knife, but do you have do you care about industrial non kitchen knife, like camp knives or something like that? Do you look even into that, or you are all for kitchen knives?
Yes, of course. I love some iconic knives, like can I say the name?
Of course, you should. You should.
Like Spyderco Police or all the stuff from Spyderco. I love that shape. The knives is very common used. Or I have a little bit collection of all the vintage folder, because in my opinion is the main reason for me, for a lot of people, to start making knives.
Yeah.
The iconic Police Spyderco is every time I see a picture in the television, I say, oh, I have that knife. Yeah.
And do you have instead a knife maker that you, apart from the knife makers that you already touched, in the kitchen knife world, do you have a knife maker or designer in the industrial side of knife making?
Yes, actually, I think that the majority of the knife maker knows very well Bob Loveless. That is.
Yes, an icon.
An icon.
Yes.
I think that his shapes are the base of all the knives you can find everywhere. That is an icon, and I don't want to be too much romantic, but my mentor is Dennis Mura, and I always look at his shape to take inspiration. The shape are totally different.
Yes.
For my design, but the way he look at the knife, every single part of the knife has to be studied to be comfortable, to be functional, and is inspirational for me.
Yes, I understand. And instead, if I going back into the steel, is there a steel that you prefer? And after that, we were discussing before starting the interview, even
it's a problem for me to say I love
you love Damasteel, of course. So okay, Damasteel is your favorite, but if you have to instead forge a knife, do you have another
for forging?
Yes, for forging.
Oh, it's very. If I have to forge a knife, I will use for sure 52-100. That is the steel used also by Bob Kramer, because it is a standard steel. It is not powder steel. It is a standard steel, but its chemical composition make it very useful in the knife world, because its grain, its structure is very fine, and it's not so easy to forge when I forge it, but I think that it allow you the best result.
Okay, yes.
If I have to restart to forge.
Yes, you were telling me that you will probably start to forge again.
Yes,
in the near future.
I have a new workshop.
Yes.
This is my old. It's not so old, but it's very small for me now. I have another workshop. I'm restoring it.
Yes.
And there will be also the forging area.
Yeah. And do you like to do even Damascus, or are you going to do only 50 to 100?
No, I think I will go to make Damascus. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And is there was a guy who is one of your clients. He's called Dominic Odierno.
Oh yeah, Dominic.
Okay. I was online and I told on the Facebook group lots of steel that I was going to interview you, and I suggested if you have, because he was showing the knife that he bought from you
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Atlanta.
at the Blake show. Yeah, yeah.
And so I said, beautiful knife, of course. And I said, if you want to ask anything, tell me, because I'm going to do an interview with him.
Yeah.
And so he asked me to ask you, what is the best soap for a dishwasher?
Dominic is great. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's no soap.
No soap, yes, of course. It was a joke because, of course, first of all, you would never put something like this in a dishwasher.
Yeah. Dominic, I have to ask my wife because she's used to put my knife on the dishwasher. Yeah.
So instead, would you like to actually show me a little bit more of your knives? Because this one is going to be at the Sharp Art exhibition, but he has here even other knives that maybe you can show.
Yes.
Yeah? Is it okay?
Yes.
So like magic, we are back here, and yes. Before we had the blade that is going to be at the Sharp Art exhibition. Instead, here we are going to see a little bit more other blades of his work, starting from the one.
I'll start from this one.
Okay.
And this is for the last.
Okay.
If you want, is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. It's perfect.
Okay. This is another Suzuki, little bit shorter than the previous, and the handle is in maple burl. You can see.
Beautiful. The pattern that has the
the white is very
fantastic.
Nice.
Yes, the white there. And here you can see that there is a little bit more of a shape of this way.
Yes. I start making that shape in all my hand.
Yeah. Okay, understand. Here is less pronounced the curve.
Yes, because it's smaller. Is a shorter.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can make the same curves.
Yeah.
Without being uncomfortable. So
yes, understand. Okay. Yeah, and this one is what kind of?
This is another Damasteel pattern. This is
beautiful,
5-nil. This is very nice because it is same the eye of a dragon here, and this is a 5-nil.
Yeah, let's see if I hope now I'm gonna show it in different angles, hoping for you to catch the pattern. As you can see here, it is fantastic. I think this pattern, beautiful.
Yeah.
And even this one has the same kind of grinding.
Yes, all my knives,
all of your knives. Yeah. And even the shape of the edge part here has a curve and then straight.
Yes.
Well, actually, the opposite. Yes.
Yeah. Here it's more straight, but if you look.
Yeah.
Here, this 2/3 of the blade of the length start making the curve.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Even this one. Yeah,
and this is a big paring knife. It is in Italy is peluchino. It is a petty knife, or I call paring knife. And also this one is from Damasteel. This is the last pattern of Damasteel. This name is Grabak.
Okay.
And
the last, you mean the last production?
The latest. The latest. Sorry, the latest.
Yeah.
And this name is a Grabak, and I love the final result of it.
And there is a different wood here.
Yeah, it is not wood.
This one is not wood.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is another thing that I love using my handle. It is Yuma. It is a synthetic material from a German company called Elfrin. And it is a food compliant, and it polished very well. I like the effect of the deep black that you can obtain.
It has a deep black, really.
And I love to put Yuma in this part of the handle because here is the part in which a lot of food goes, and in this way you make the knife more more useful.
Yeah, yeah. And it is beautiful even at the touch.
Yeah, it has a particularity. When it is wet, the grip improve.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
I am a climber. I wish it was the same on the rock.
it's not so.
And the spaces here are again,
3 layer of spacer,
yeah,
and always G10 but in black.
G10 in black. Instead here, G10 in white.
It is different. It is 2 pieces of wood and
Yeah.
1 layer of white, 1 layer of white, 1 layer of steel, stainless steel.
Yeah. And I'm gonna show you the pattern of the Damasteel. I think it is really, really, really beautiful. I really, really like it. I'm a little bit blind. I mean, you can feel, not with all the Damascus blades, you have this kind of feeling as well, as if it was etched.
Yes,
as if
yes,
it was
is hatched, but I used to make deeper hatching.
okay.
Yes, because you can use you can use every day, and there is no problem to remove the hatching because it is very deep.
Yes, I can feel it.
Actually, it is mirror polished after the hatching.
Okay, so
I usually make 3 baths of in sulfuric acid,
yeah,
and every time 10 minutes at least to obtain this effect. You can touch it, you can see,
yes, you can feel it.
you can feel.
Yes, it's possible for you to see. There is a feeling as if you were basically cutting the steel. Okay, so I mean through the steel, like making this pattern with the hand, because when you touch it, you feel it. You feel the patterns
Yeah.
of on the blade, and it is not that common, I have to say, in the steel. So
I don't use coffee hatching. I use only deep hatching.
And it is really amazing, I have to say. The Damasteel here is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after this,
yes. This is a project. This name of this knife is one. You can see that there is also a different logo, okay, because there is in 2020 during COVID period, I think about making a project in which I will use materials, high performance material, and less fit and finish than my standard knife. So you can see it is finished by it is machine finished.
See even the pattern here. So that's the pattern of that.
Normally I finish by hand all my knives. This is machine finished. In order to maintain the cost low, I start a little production of 50 in M390. It is a steel from Bowler. And after the first 50 knives, that was a little success for me because all the knives
were sold.
Yes. I listened to the feedback of the chef, of the people that bought that knife. I start redesign completely, and last year I start the production of this one. The name is One. The steel is not M390, but now it's MagnaCut. I think that I am one of the first people in Italy use that knife, that steel. I love that steel, and I'm very happy because also in the United States I've sold all the one I have in my table in Texas, in Atlanta, all the knives, and I have a lot of order now of this one. Actually, my idea is to make all the knives outside my workshop. Okay. But the heat treatment of this steel is too hard for the normal production that I have to make this in my own. That's why I finish by hand.
Yeah.
I finish by
machine.
machine.
Machine. Yeah, of course. So can we even say the price of this
Is
you want to buy?
350.
350. Okay. I know, guys. I know it's not cheap. Okay. For though the quality and the kind of knives it is. Okay. Always remember that here we are talking about best of the best in terms of materials. Here we have Damasteel, and I suggest you to go and check online. Damasteel is one of the few in the world that can make this kind of blades. And here instead we have MagnaCut, which is considered by many in the industry as the best steel available at the moment.
MagnaCut is a game changer about the chemical composition, the hedge retention, the toughness of the steel is a very a game changer. I love that steel.
Yeah. And so look at this blade, look at this knife, how well refined it is, and go and check, just out of curiosity, any other knife with these dimensions with MagnaCut. You will soon realize that this is not expensive at all. Okay. And so you chose MagnaCut, and I guess you are one of the few. Is it more or less difficult to work the blade in terms of?
Yes, it's difficult
It is difficult.
The more edge retention you have, is obviously it's obvious that it is very is hard. It's hard to work with
this kind of steel.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that now you can even tell people where can they buy all your things.
Yeah, I have my own website.
Okay.
That is www.faccipieri.com.
Okay.
And
you post all your knives that are available.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I have also a newsletter in which I make my drop of the knife. I think I make 10 of these every month.
Yeah.
I think I have 10 of these every month. And sorry for
that's okay.
Okay. And yes, in my site you can contact me or Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. And the final consideration, I mean, he's going to be, this is something that I want to say. So this is, he's going to be one of the great makers that are going to be at the Sharp Art exhibition. And I was very touched when I contacted you, and you were the first one to immediately say yes. You immediately understood, I mean, the project, because Sharp Art is meant not for profit. I mean, if any of you want to buy one of his knives, I mean, his knife that is going to be there, you are welcome to contact him and buy out from it. I am not part of the deal. Let's say the only reason why I do the Sharp Art is to show people, the makers, what they can do, how difficult it is, how beautiful they can be, and put maybe in contact even people with the makers. And he was one of the first to say immediately yes to that. And so one question is, what do you expect from Sharp Art, from the exhibition?
I think that I like that this project because it is completely different than any other show, and put together the heart and the knife. Maybe we could say to the people finally that the knives are tools, but also there is a part of art. So
yes, for sure. And I mean, the level, you will see the level that he can achieve and other makers can achieve is incredible. I mean, these things are difficult to make, difficult to project, to design, to realize, and they are one of a kind. Each one of these is one of a kind. So it is really art, in my opinion. And it is the project is meant even to be then moved into different places. I hope that I'm going to be able to move it to Maniago during the Coltello in Festa. when there is going to be a lot of people. I really hope that the politicians there accept the idea, and even to move it in different countries like Slovenia, in Ljubljana, and maybe Austria. We will see. We will see if it's going to work. And anyway, I thank you very much for giving me one of your knives and for being so kind for the interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Grazie. Perfetto.
Bene.
Bene, bene.
Dai.